Reddit by Reddit recap. At what moment did you realize you were dating an idiot? And she flipped out because her third grader came home with erect on a spelling list and was on the verge of calling the school. She honestly had lived her entire life not knowing erect had any other use aside from describing a penis. You should have explained. In New Orleans they erected numerous dikes. My brother's fiancé thought that the word lube only had a sexual use too. I had been dating this girl for a few months and it was Christmas time. We weren't super serious, but it was serious enough that I was buying her Christmas presents. I found something for her that was perfect and it had a connection to some funny event involving her and my cat. So I made the present from the cat. I thought I was being cute and she would make the connection. Instead, she got pissed that my cat got her a present and I didn't. I thought she was joking. To make matters worse, we were at her parents' place and they backed her up. It was extremely awkward and I realized it wasn't going to work out. Cats A, don't have money. B, don't give a duck about you even if they did. Exactly. Somehow I didn't even know what the hell to think. I just stood there in dumbfounded silence. What do you say to that? Sorry, I tried to make the gift more personal. Was 16 at the time and went to go have sex. I realized I didn't have any condoms and then's when she told me I didn't need one because I trust my body not to get pregnant. I asked her what she was talking about and she told me it takes conscious effort to become pregnant and if she didn't want to be she would never conceive. And now? 10 kids and living in a trailer? Knew someone in high school who told a story about how once she was really nervous about getting pregnant. She wasn't. But when she finished her story, the teacher asked her if she checked for STDs. Her reply, I'm on the pill. And he said the color orange didn't exist. Because it was really just pink and red mixed together. As someone who's really into graphic design, this hurts me. And she thought I was crazy for putting Pop-Tarts in a toaster. Or maybe it was the time she tried making hamburger helper for the first time at 27 years old and called me from the store to ask where they sold the brown hamburger meat. I'm wasting away to nothing. Send help. Oh, I almost forgot the best part. She's teaching your children right now in a public school. He got me Mad Libs and when it was her turn to do a noun she asked what is a noun? I said it's a person, place, or thing. There was a long silence as she thought. It went on for so long that I thought she must be thinking of the best noun I had ever heard. Then she said place. Technically correct. I saw her water her plastic plant for the third time. Edit. Dunno. The first 2 times I was sort of stunned and curious. The second time she actually said, the water goes right through. I've had this one cactus for maybe 2 years now. It leaks so I kinda never watered it. At this point I don't know if it's artificial or organic. But I don't really want to break it to find out. So I just keep it by my other plants and don't think about it. Ducking, swear to God I'm not making this up. Back in 2006 my ex-wife fell for the Nigerian prince scam and gave out our bank account number. My ex for 4 years. When she considered it not cheating to have sex with a woman because there's no dong inside of her beach, it's still cheating. We tried to argue that we could get to the moon easier if we just built a spaceship that could go underwater and flew it through the ocean to the moon during the daytime rather than straight up. My god. Someone get NASA on the phone. What? Asked him what event resulted in World War I. His response was 9-11. He was serious. She pointed up at a bluish star and sincerely asked, is that Earth? What a strange, surreal question. I get vertigo from even reading that. On a hike and was following a trail I had read up on online. We get to a fork and I say, okay, now we need to go north. She says, haven't we been this whole time? Confused. I look at her and ask why she says that. She replies, north is the direction in front of you, yeah? Still not entirely sure about the origins of that logic. Back in college, I saw a fleur-de-lis tattoo on the girl's butt for the first time. Me. What made you decide to get a fleur-de-lis tattoo on your ass? Huh? I don't know. I wanted something tribal. I dated a guy for about a month until I found out that he didn't realize that women's breasts made actual milk to feed their babies. He thought breastfeeding was just a way to hold a baby while giving it a bottle. I told him he was an idiot and he said, with a disgusted sneer, I didn't know that because I have never known any woman who had or would breastfeed their child. I told him that I had breastfed my son and he called me a child molester. Should have told him about his mother. That's the type of guy who only sees breasts as sexual objects and would be offended if he saw a woman breastfed in public. Shot himself in the leg twice while cleaning it. The same gun. 2 weeks apart. Edit. Sorry. Yes. Cleaning the gun. 9mm. Shot himself in the calf the first time. Then took out his kneecap the second time. Same leg. Took months of surgeries to fix it. Jesus Christ, who the hell cleans a loaded gun? You don't. He was probably ducking around with it like it's a toy. That's probably the BS excuse he conjured up. First time was when he told my parents he was a vegetarian because he eats everything. The same guy told me that the bumps on the side of the highway are so blind drivers know when they run off the road. Ah. High school boyfriends. He was hot though. The past was black and white. She was serious. Maybe she just has a very simple view of history. My mom used to come up with weird deep answers to questions about like this, which confused 5-year-me a whole lot. When we were watching some documentary film with 1930s footage, I asked her, why was the world all grey back then? Her answer? Because the world was covered with the smoke of war. I told her a story about my childhood. 2 weeks later, she told it for me. But this time it was her childhood. Your girlfriend was Reddit. And she surprised me by inviting her mother on our 16-day Hawaiian cruise. You know there is a fine line between an idiot and a sadist that secretly hates you, right? And she told me that babies could only happen if there were love. And the only way to get pregnant from a rape is if you loved your rapist. Is she in Congress? Blame her parents. How do you get a baby? Mom and dad? Well, when two people love each other very much. Driving around this weird part of Las Vegas and I said, this is surreal. He said, I know. It's surreal. I repeated, surreal, and he repeated, so real. I think I would do this intentionally just to piss off my boyfriend, to be honest. Roommate of mine was dating this girl. Very cute. Super sweet. We were all in the living room watching another roommate play Call of Duty World at War. It was still new at the time. She eventually asks if this was based on a true story. We reply that although the specific characters likely didn't exist, the game was based on World War II. Her response: what's World War II? Are you serious? It was World War ducking too. At one point, she even said it's not like everyone knows about it. Yeah. Katie, the whole world knows about it. It was a world war. And not the first one, either. She told me with a straight face that our horoscopes had changed and it was a bad idea to be together. Well, at least she was right. We got into a legit argument over how many years there are in a decade. Baby, if you are reading this, there are only 10 years in a decade, not 12. Are you sure you didn't say decade? We're at a restaurant and she saw a picture of a buffalo and said, I wanna eat that pig. I was dying laughing. Probably one of the funniest people I've dated. But definitely wasn't too sharp. We're watching Django. And during the winter training montage there is a moment where the camera pans over a herd of reindeer. At that moment my ex said something about how she thought it was weird that they would include reindeer in the movie because it kind of breaks the immersion. I was confused and asked what she meant by that. She went on to explain to me how reindeer weren't real animals and just make-believe like characters in a fairy tale, aka Rudolph and the rest of Santa's reindeer. A surprising number of people don't realize reindeer are real animals. Also narwhals. Like, why would there be a unicorn whale? Right? That's obviously made up. High school I was in an extracurricular program after school. There was one portion of it that was pretty much all girls. I dated a girl from this portion all throughout high school. I went to all of their events and helped out. I always wondered why none of the other girls or their parents really talked to me. Right before we graduated I brought it up to her and she told me that she told all of them that I was physically and verbally abusive all the time. When I asked her why, she told me it was so no one else would steal me away from her. I broke up with her shortly after. That is so ducked. My defense. This was back in 2004. I found it charming and endearing that he did funny voices, made funny idiosyncratic jokes, and occasionally called me M-Lady. Then I saw Anchorman. Oh my god, he literally was doing a 24/7 Ron Burgundy impression, eclipsing his entire personality. I'm not sure I ever really met him. Well, that escalated quickly. He kept trying to put food inside the rolling pin and then trying and flatten it by just rolling it around. This is amazing. I'm trying to imagine a rolling pin constructed in a way where you could put food inside it. I've got that classic solid wooden roller design in my mind. And that's all I can think of. Edit. Apparently lots of people have rolling pins that are hollow so you can fill them with water to add weight. Apparently most of these versions are crappy plastic kinds. Girl I dated for 5 years thought Al Qaeda was a lone terrorist named Al. Convinced the same girl that Whoopi Goldberg was married to Gerard Depardieu, as in her full name is Whoopi Doopy-Doo. Best comment of the day. Be me. Be in relationship for almost 2 years. Work with girl who is clearly infatuated with me for over a year. Relationship hits the skids. Give crush girl a try. Oh, good point. JPG not even weeks in. Talking about marriage and meeting her parents. Has way too many sex toys. Clearly mentally unstable. Demands to be borderline beaten in bedroom. Cringy af internet weeb. Fake cries about everything. Massive attention whore. Fuck the shit him out. Point MP3 work things out with previous girl. Crush girl wigs out and starts stalking us. Had to block all forms of communication. Threatens suicide. She lies to everyone about what happened, that I used her. Problem is her friends are our friends, and they knew, before I did, what a hoe bag she is. Apparently, this isn't her first time stalking dudes in relationships, then playing the victim. Permanent side chick complex. Finally stops after embarrassing herself in court by filing a restraining order against my girl with literally no proof. Still lies and cries all over social media. Ruined her career and connections because no one believes her, as they shouldn't. Still lies and cries today. This was half a year ago.